Welcome to Audit the Audit, where we sort out the who and what and the right and wrong of police interactions. This episode covers identification laws, public meetings, and the First Amendment, and is brought to us by Assessor Audit's channel. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve. On November 21st, 2023, Michelle Allen Gregory, the vice president of the New York Coalition for Open Government, attended a New Haven Town Board meeting in Oswego, New York. During the meeting, the board adjourned into executive session, and Ms. Allen Gregory spoke out of turn to ask if there would be minutes taken during the executive session. Town Supervisor Dan Barney, who has repeatedly been listed on the New York Coalition for Open Government's so-called naughty list for government transparency, asked Ms. Allen Gregory to leave the meeting, and Ms. Allen Gregory refused.
What was the first?
$6,396 is what we budgeted. We're gonna
96?
Yep, $6,396. And we're gonna increase it to $8,396.
And since decisions were made during the public hearing, there will be minutes
Excuse me.
available,
I will
correct?
second that, Mary.
Excuse me. Herb, she's out. She's gone. That's the second time. She's out. Take her
No,
out
I get
right
3
now.
warnings. I get a second warning.
No, you don't get.
Oh,
Out. Go.
I'm not leaving.
You're gonna have to leave. Meeting is over. You gotta go. Sorry, you gotta go. Ma'am, you have to go.
I understand what you're saying, sir. I will need to be physically removed. And I understand what you're saying.
No, you have to go. I don't wanna physically remove you. You have to go.
I will leave
The
as soon as the meeting's
supervisor
over.
asked you to leave. You have to leave.
Mr. Barney called the police, and Deputy Caitlin Gregory of the Oswego County Sheriff's Office responded to the call. The interaction that followed was captured on her body camera.
Hello.
Hey, Supervisor Barney.
There you go, sir.
Hi, good, how are you?
We had a situation where we had a person disrupted our meeting. I issued a warning.
Okay.
And upon the second incident, asked her to leave. She refused to leave. No physical altercation or anything like that occurred. Our security officer here walked over, asked her to please leave. She refused several times. So we want her out. Now, she's got some friends here that are refusing to leave too. We're done with our meeting. And it's time for people to go.
Okay. Where's
This is her here. I'm not sure what name she's going by tonight. She likes Jane Public, Michelle Allen.
okay. You leaving, ma'am?
Yeah, I was told I had to wait because the police were being
Nobody
called
told
on
you
me.
you had
Okay.
to wait.
Cool. All right. So you have friends with you too? Who's your
Yeah.
friends? You guys? Okay. All right. Well, let's just have you guys.
He
exit.
told me I had to leave a public meeting, and then he said he called the cops, so I was waiting for the police to come so I would not be physically removed,
Gotcha. I got you. So
because I'm allowed to speak at a public meeting.
okay.
Are you with her, man?
Yes, thank you, public resources.
So,
We will be
You want her?
fine.
if we,
Not
Can I
bad?
get the,
yeah, if I want to have her arrested, can I do that?
no, you cannot.
Oh, yeah. Actually, it's obstructing governmental administration. This has been going on for an extended period of time, like 2.5 years. So
Okay.
that's,
So
that's where we're at.
All right.
I've talked to Don Hilton about this.
Do you have your ID on you?
I do, and I don't have to provide it, it's a Fourth
Bingo.
Amendment right.
No. You are being investigated, so yes, you do
For
have to
what
identify
crime
yourself.
am I being committed?
Okay.
Just
So
say
if
it
we're
right here.
if we're talking
wanna take a
about
look.
Governmental
Yeah.
obstruction?
OGA,
Because I spoke out at a public meeting?
I'm not here to argue about the reasons why you're being charged with that, so we're going to investigate it.
Okay.
And so for that,
Well,
we're
what
going to need your
crime am I
identification.
being suspected
You don't
of?
have to commit a crime to be investigated, right?
In order to provide my ID,
You have to be investigated.
Yes, you have to,
You have to
have
be
a crime that
investigated.
you're
Nope, you have to be investigated. Doesn't have to be a
I'm
crime.
not providing my ID.
You have to.
No, I don't.
You will provide your ID,
Or what?
or you're going to be placed in custody
For what?
for OGA.
Which
You'll have a
is-
second charge for that.
Okay, I would suggest you not do this and you call a supervisor.
I would love to call my supervisor.
I would
Why
love
don't you go
that.
ahead and get Pretoria on the phone?
I already have a couple attorneys on the phone as well.
That's fine.
And because I spoke out at a public meeting, you're trying to arrest me for,
Failing to provide your
can I see
identification.
No. What I'm being
This is
charged
town
for.
property.
No, you're not being charged with anything yet.
Well, you
We're
have to.
investigating.
If I don't provide my ID,
I
have
understand
to-
what you just said to me, that you said that you have to be given a charge to provide your identification. I'm telling you that's wrong.
Okay, I disagree.
All you need is, it's not about disagreement.
Okay.
That's the facts.
I know my rights.
You obviously don't.
Deputy Greger would like to speak with you.
Okay.
No, she wants a supervisor, so.
Actually, we have a lady here that would love to speak with you. Hold on one second.
No, I'm requesting a supervisor be present.
Preacher, are you able to come down here?
Thank
you.
What am I being charged with?
You are not being charged with anything. You are being investigated. You're refusing to provide
For-
identification.
Deputy Gregory claims that Ms. Allen Gregory is required to provide her ID because she was being investigated for obstruction, and that if she refuses, she could face an additional obstruction charge. According to Section 195.05 of the New York Penal Law, quote, "A person is guilty of obstructing governmental administration when he intentionally obstructs, impairs, or perverts the administration of law or other governmental function, or prevents or attempts to prevent a public servant from performing an official function by means of intimidation, physical force, or interference, or by means of any independently unlawful act." Now, while calmly and briefly speaking out of turn during a public meeting likely would not rise to the level of obstructing governmental administration, if a court determined that Ms. Allen Gregory had been lawfully ordered to leave the meeting and refused to do so, it could potentially also conclude that her refusal to leave constituted a so-called independently unlawful act that intentionally obstructed the administration of the meeting. Section 240.20 of the New York Penal Law states that, quote, "A person is guilty of disorderly conduct when, with intent to cause public inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm, or recklessly creating a risk thereof without lawful authority, he disturbs any lawful assembly or meeting of persons." Well, given the nature of Ms. Allen Gregory's so-called interruption, it seems unlikely that a court would conclude that she committed disorderly conduct, as the statute requires that an individual act with intent to cause public inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm, and Ms. Allen Gregory's intent appeared to be nothing more than to obtain an answer to her question and remain in the meeting that she was lawfully entitled to attend. Additionally, Section 140.05 of the New York Penal Law, the state trespass statute, criminalizes remaining unlawfully in a building that is open to the public in defiance of a lawful order not to remain. Now, we will discuss the lawfulness of the order to leave later in this episode, but for now, it is important to note that if the order was determined to be unlawful, Ms. Allen Gregory could not be convicted of trespassing. Likewise, it is highly unlikely that an additional obstructing charge would be warranted for her refusal to provide her identification to Deputy Gregory. Although Section 140.50 of the New York Criminal Procedure Law authorizes police officers to detain individuals based on reasonable suspicion of criminal activity and demand of their name, address, and an explanation of their conduct, it does not grant officers the power to require physical identification or to arrest citizens who refuse to identify themselves. Likewise, New York courts have consistently held that an individual's refusal to identify themselves does not rise to the level of obstruction, even if an officer has the reasonable suspicion necessary to detain them. For instance, the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York concluded in the 2006 case of Williams versus the City of Mount Vernon that, quote, "Ignoring an officer's request for identification is not a crime," and that, now quoting again, "the failure to stop or cooperate by identifying oneself or answering questions cannot be the predicate for an arrest, absent other circumstances constituting probable cause." Well, accordingly, given the requirement of physical force or interference, or an independently unlawful act to sustain an obstruction conviction, it is highly improbable that a court would conclude that Ms. Allen Gregory committed obstruction by refusing to give her ID to Deputy Gregory.
For what am I being investigated
I'm sorry,
for?
did you not just say?
Can I
Governmental-
see, can I see what he's trying to charge me
Yeah,
for?
so what's going on is a long, drawn-out interruption that's gone on over about 2.5 years, okay?
For
Every
requesting public
meeting,
documents, which is FOIA
Every-
and open meeting law.
every meeting, but if you speak out during a public meeting, you get a warning, and if you speak out again, we can ask you to to remove yourself. And that's what we did tonight. We're very polite, there's no physical, nothing, she, Herb didn't grab onto her, nothing like that.
He did put his arm on me. He most certainly did.
I put my hand on it.
He did put his hand on me.
I've talked to Don about this a while back, one night when she pushed her way into my office
I have
and
it recorded.
yelled out,
I recorded it.
It's all recorded.
yelled out that she was a member of the press when Randy Pellis
I am a member of the press.
Conversation would be.
I am a member of the press.
So, at any
Irrelevant.
rate,
It's not irrelevant. That's
Not to
open
me.
government and freedom
It's
of
not to me,
information
because
law.
right now you're committing a violation with me.
Can I see what he's trying to
No, I'm
charge
asking
me?
you
This
for
is-
your identification.
this is
I
our
don't
rules
have
of
to
decorum.
provide it unless I'm being
Investigated.
reasonably-
Say it with me. Investigated.
No, it's not just investigation.
Yes, it is. It's
No, ma'am, it's
investigation.
not.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
100% it
We'll
is.
debate that in court then.
That's fine, but you're still
Okay.
gonna have to provide your documentation because you're gonna be arrested for it.
Okay.
So
For
that's,
what am I being,
I'm not gonna keep saying the same
can
thing
I
over and over
please
again.
see the statute that he's trying to quote to me? The document that he's handing me,
I don't
that
even
he's
know what I
quoting
want.
to me, can I please see that?
That's gonna be separate from what I'm charging
Can
you
I
with.
please see what he is?
Did you see him going in there trying to get it? But I'm telling you, now you're gonna have two different charges for it.
You can charge me with whatever you think you should.
Okay?
Okay.
All set.
So these are local policies. These are local rules of decorum, which are not a statute. These are not a legal
Okay.
statute.
I
These
don't
are-
think he said that this was a statute. These are just other documents he had in his hand
What
when he was
is the
explaining.
what is the legal statute for this? This is a local policy.
You're looking for the statute of obstructing governmental administration.
Whatever whatever he's accusing me of, I would like to see that statute.
the authority falls within the town board. We have the authority to make local laws.
Yeah, I'm not-
We made one
This
earlier
is
this
not a
year.
local law.
That's
This is
it.
policy.
She
I'm not
violated it.
questioning that.
We're asking you to do.
I'm not questioning it, to
This
be
is
honest
a
with you.
policy.
So, listen, you
Not
said
a
you know
law.
your rights, so I mean,
This is a policy.
that has nothing to do with what I'm going to be arresting you
I'm
for.
asking for the statute of what
I
you're
don't
saying
have
it's
the
obstruction of
statute.
justice,
You know
correct?
what? You got your phone?
Can I ask, can you,
I'm gonna have you look it up, because I don't have it on me.
what statute am I being arrested for?
Obstructing
Obstructing
Governmental
Can
administration.
I see that statute?
Yes, do you wanna pull up your phone?
I would rather not. I think
Well,
that you
then there you go.
are supposed to provide that.
No, I don't have a law book in my back pocket.
Ms. Allen Gregory argues that Deputy Gregory is required to show her the obstructing statute and that she should not have to look it up herself. As we have discussed before here on ATA, there is no constitutional requirement that officers even inform citizens why they are being detained or arrested, let alone provide them with copies of the relevant statutes. In fact, arrests can be considered constitutional even if an officer arrests an individual for a violation of one statute without probable cause, as long as there is objective probable cause to support a different charge. As the Supreme Court explained in the 2004 case of Devenpeck versus Alford, quote, "Our cases make clear that an arresting officer's state of mind, except for the fact that he knows, is irrelevant to the existence of probable cause. That is to say, his subjective reason for making the arrest need not be the criminal offense as to which the known facts provide probable cause. The Fourth Amendment's concern with reasonableness allows certain actions to be taken in certain circumstances, whatever the subjective intent. Accordingly, it is highly unlikely that a court would conclude that Deputy Gregory was required to even articulate to Ms. Allen Gregory the crime that she was suspected of committing, let alone show her the statutory language."
Do you have a phone?
I do, but I don't use it for work use, okay? Because then it gets subpoenaed, and I don't want that.
Okay.
But it's free information that everyone has on the internet,
Okay.
okay? Otherwise,
Super.
you'll have to wait until we process the arrest.
Okay. Such a waste of money.
It's kind of a waste of time. All you have to do is
It is.
give us your ID.
I don't have to give you that because I have not reasonably committed a crime. There is no reasonable suspicion that I have committed a crime.
We ask for people's identification, just simply if they need to be checked on, simply if we are just
And
encountering
I
them.
don't wish to waive my Fourth Amendment right for that.
Okay,
There's no regret this, I'm just saying.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Are they involved with that as well?
Nothing more than just refusing to leave after a meeting was over. Normally we send people out the door. I guess she's still here. I don't know. No, are you refusing to
Witnessing.
leave?
Yeah, no, they're
I'm-
here with me.
I'm staying until she's safe.
So I guess they're trespassing.
No, and you want to charge
No,
everybody
that's,
here with
that's
trespassing?
That's gonna be trespassing if you don't leave. Yeah, for sure.
So I guess
If these two don't leave, it will be trespassing.
our meeting's over. It was over at 7:20.
And I'm being detained for what? And you're expecting them to leave me? No, it's not gonna happen. And you're gonna arrest them both for
Yeah,
trespassing,
they'll
for
have
staying here
trespass
with
as
me?
well. Yeah, they will.
Okay, well, you can write me a citation and then I'll show up wherever I need to show up.
Okay. We will.
But we'll step outside and we're all leaving together.
You're gonna be coming back with us.
No, I'm not.
How do you figure? So you have identification then?
I do.
Okay, can we have that, please?
Nope.
Everyone's gonna do the same thing then.
I'm not gonna be investigated. What am I being investigated for?
Trespassing,
This is a public building.
doesn't matter, he
We're
has the
closed.
authority to leave,
Well, we're
ask
gonna
you
go
to leave.
outside.
I mean to arrest the three of us now, so you need to call some other attorneys. This is getting bad. It's gonna. Okay. All right, well, as long as everybody's aware, I'll let you guys know when I get booked. Okay, we'll sue them. All right, bye. All right. Arrest me then.
No, you wanted to speak to a supervisor, so we're gonna have him come
We'll
over.
wait. We'll wait.
You stand here. Do you have like any documentation for like the past couple of meetings, or like anything that notes about any of these instances
here's
or
our town
trespass
clerk right
orders or
there.
anything like
Yeah, I
that?
mean,
Do you have a trespass order you can issue?
a what?
A trespass order?
A trespass order?
Yeah, or anything for them?
I know it's not addressed in this, rules of decorum. That'd be a good question for your supervisor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey,
We do lock the doors when we leave, so, yeah.
we got 3 refusing to identify themselves. So we'll probably need a statement from you
Okay.
about everything, so.
There's 2 sheriffs here, and they're bringing more officers here to potentially place me under arrest for speaking out during the meeting, obstruction of something, in violation of their town policies. Because they came out of the executive session, and I told them that they shouldn't do it, that there needed to be minutes publicly available, because they came out of the executive session and said, no decisions were made, but then voted on stuff that happened in executive session, and I said, hey, you need to have minutes available, and then someone called the cops on me to have me removed. So if I get booked, I'll give you a call and bail me out, okay? I'm gonna do this, because this is wrong. All right, I love you. Yeah. 2 other people for trespassing.
So we're waiting for Pre-Tori to get here, but she wants to speak with a supervisor. But these 3 are refusing to identify themselves and refusing to leave.
Which 3?
These 3.
Okay,
1, 2,
All right.
3?
She's being detained.
okay.
She's not
But you're
refusing.
refusing to leave because you won't
Because
leave
I'm not
her.
leaving her
There you
by
go.
herself.
All right,
I want
same
her to
thing.
be safe.
Same thing.
Okay.
You're refusing to leave.
She could have left.
No, I was told I was detained.
She was
And that I
told
was
she
gonna
had
be
to stay.
arrested.
But these
was
2 are
after
not
that.
detained, so they could have
No,
left.
they're staying
Gotcha,
with me
okay.
because I should not be detained.
Okay, so then they'll be charged with trespass as well.
Well, then they can be charged with trespassing.
I know, they're doing it for you.
How you doing?
Good, how are you? She's not too far out, so.
Okay. And they won't identify themselves.
Okay.
If I'm being threatened with arrest, I will identify myself. But other than that.
I just threatened you with arrest like 6
Well-
times.
For what? Again?
OGA.
No, that's violation of policy.
No, that's not what I'm placing you
is.
under arrest for. You're refusing to identify yourself, and that's what you're going to be charged with.
Please make sure she's safe.
Where's she? Okay, now you guys are leaving?
Please make sure she's safe.
She's going to be safe. Trust me. Yes. Pre-Tori just called out in my unit. She will be fine. I promise you.
So if I identify myself, I will not be arrested, or irregardless, I'm still gonna be arrested.
Well, you're still going to be arrested for the trespass. He wants you arrested for trespass.
Alan and I are gonna step outside.
Okay? For speaking out because you violated an executive session. It's ridiculous.
Do you guys want us to just stand out there
with?
with them in case we do decide? I don't. They're leaving now and they're cooperative. If that's the way they're going to play it, then I don't mind.
There
But
we go.
I better not have any more problems with them.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
So these 2 here, and then the 3rd one out there. We're supposed to all be leaving.
No.
Yes.
No, I
She
was
was
told I
told
was
she had to
detained.
stay because the
I'm going
sheriff
from
said-
the original point of when she was asked to
Okay,
leave.
so
as being
these are the
disruptive.
3 people.
Yes, and the other one's outside who I guess she's now deciding to actually finally leave. But
Let me just clarify something quick.
if
I'm
we want
telling
to arrest them, that's
supervisor.
fine. But
Yeah.
Nobody ever told anybody they had to stay. She was told to leave repeatedly by Herb Hawker, our security guard.
Okay.
And she refused to leave. Nobody ever told anybody they had to stay.
I
We
said I
wanted
would
them
wait till the meeting
out
was
of here.
done,
The meeting
and
come
then I
to
would
an end
leave.
a few minutes
And
later.
then I was
And
going
then
to
we
leave.
told them all a few times, have to go, time to go.
Okay.
Her friends decided that they wanted to stay with her. They
These two
refused to
ladies
leave.
here and this lady here?
No, not the one
She
on the
stayed
far
with
end.
her.
Not the one on the far end.
She did not want to leave
Okay.
after the meeting was ended
Okay.
because the sheriffs had been called.
Right, I was told to leave while the meeting was
There
still
you go.
present. I said I wanted to wait till the end of the meeting, that it was a public meeting, I was allowed to attend. He asked me to leave, and then he called the police during the meeting. Then he asked everybody to leave. Then I was told I was being detained, and I said, for what? So then I was told I had to wait. Now I'm being told I'm gonna be charged with obstruction and trespass when I was told that I had to wait because I was being detained. It doesn't even make any sense. Okay. This is the only young lady you had a problem with in
The
your
reason she was being detained was because she wouldn't produce identification.
Okay. But during the meeting, was she creating a disturbance?
Yes, she did, twice. She was warned the first time, and the second time I asked her to leave. And I told her I'd like her taken out.
Mr. Barney explains that he asked Ms. Allen Gregory to leave the board meeting after she spoke out of turn on 2 occasions during the meeting. Well, according to the New York so-called open meetings law, which is codified in Section 103 of the New York Public Officers Law, quote, every meeting of a public body shall be open to the general public. During a public meeting, Section 105 of the open meetings law permits a public body to enter a so-called executive session, which is not open to the public, to engage in discussions regarding certain limited topics, and Section 106 requires that minutes be taken at executive sessions of any action that is taken by formal vote. Unfortunately, the open meetings law is silent as to when individuals can be removed from public meetings, but the statutes do generally establish a right to attend public meetings. Additionally, there can be First Amendment implications to removing an individual from a public meeting. As the United States District Court for the Eastern District of New York explained in the 1994 case of Devine versus Village of Port Jefferson, open meetings are considered to be so-called limited public forums for First Amendment purposes. This means, the court explained, that the government may impose, now quoting, reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions on speech only if they are content neutral, serve a significant government interest, and leave open alternative channels for expression. In the Devine case, the court concluded that the First Amendment rights of an individual were not violated when he was threatened with arrest after he, now quoting, began to shout, drown out other members of the community, and interrupt members of the board as they attempted to proceed with the business at hand, and then refused to comply with the mayor's request that he quote-unquote stand down. However, in the 2013 case of Acosta versus City of Costa Mesa, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals held that the First Amendment requires a person's speech in a city council meeting to actually disrupt a meeting before that person may be removed from the meeting. Now, although the Ninth Circuit does not have jurisdiction over New York, it would be considered so-called persuasive authority in any litigation stemming from this encounter, and the case demonstrates the general balance that must be struck between the government's interest in an orderly meeting and an individual's First Amendment rights. Accordingly, while truly disruptive individuals may be constitutionally ordered to leave a public meeting, Ms. Allen Gregory would have a strong argument that Mr. Barney's interest in terminating her limited, respectful interruptions was not a significant enough government interest to justify the interference with her First Amendment rights created by her removal, and therefore that the order to leave the meeting was unlawful.
This has been going on for about 2.5 years. I spoke to Don Hilton about this a while back. 2 different occasions. She pushed her way into my office.
I understand.
Yep.
So that's what happened tonight. You'd
That's-
like to
that's
pursue
what
charges against her, correct?
Yeah, if we can.
Okay, yep. So we'll put her in custody, someone grab a statement from you.
What am I being charged with exactly? Trespassing?
Criminal trespass.
Okay, I was not trespassing. I was told I had to stay. I was told I had to stay.
Listen, we're past that right now. You're gonna be charged, whether or not you're guilty or not, is gonna be up to the judge. Please stand up for me.
So I'm being charged with
Ma'am,
trespassing.
I'm not gonna ask you again. Please stand up.
I'm trying to be clear
Nope.
that I'm,
Nope.
can you take my purse, Holly?
Yes.
You don't wanna say who you are, is that correct?
I said I would do that. Why are you taking pictures of me being arrested right now?
Don't worry about
That's
it.
ridiculous.
So,
Is there
right
anything
now,
else you need?
I would rather you
Wallet?
not get my purse,
Do you need anything
honestly.
Do you
well,
want
that's
to
What
fine.
would I need?
Do you want your cell phone and your
Wallet.
ID?
I don't know what you just put in my pocket. 'cause
Your
I thought
phone
you
and
did.
your keys.
I guess I would need my wallet and my
Mind getting your
identification.
wallet?
Where is that in here?
It's the blue thing. This is ridiculous. You guys are gonna regret this.
Did you wanna, can you pat her down too? Make sure she's all set.
You were not supposed to pat me down. Sir. Well, you're not supposed to, sir. And we're not doing it here where
Listen,
other.
stop.
Can we go outside, please?
No.
No, this isn't a our choice. Right now, this is what we're doing. Everything else we'll work on later. Right this way, man.
Are you still wanting the other two as well?
But they weren't asked to leave and refused, right? Would they create a disturbance or no?
Did you ask those two to leave? Did you want?
We asked everybody to leave, okay, after the meeting ended. We asked her to leave during the meeting.
Because she's creating a disturbance.
Because she was creating a disturbance. She wouldn't leave after the meeting.
Stay with those two for now. Make sure those two, this one in the black coat and then this one with the purse there, don't leave yet.
So if you have a meeting, right?
Right.
Someone is not acting like an adult, an appropriate way to act in a public meeting, you have all the right to ask them to leave.
And
If
this has
they
been.
don't,
I'm
call
sorry.
us. We'll respond out. You don't have to keep dealing with this through the whole thing.
So-
We'll ask them again. And if they don't want to leave, we'll arrest them.
She pushed her way into my office when Randy Pellis from the Palladium Times wanted to do an interview with me. So I said, come on, we'll go in.
Is that something that made you feel uncomfortable, that she did that?
Oh, yeah, everything
All
that she
right.
does. She
So-
forced her way in one night when Mary and I were in there talking with the judge.
supervisor.
She's my deputy.
So what I'm going to have you do is we have a nice young lady deputy. She's going to take a statement from you.
Okay?
Make sure you mention the past, what happened, the past bad experience, okay?
Yep.
Then obviously tonight, you're having a meeting, what you did to create disturbance.
Twice.
You politely asked her to leave, she didn't, you asked her again, and she's trying to create chaos.
Yep.
Okay? We're gonna try.
She's signed in probably every single time she's been here under a false name. She doesn't like to give her real name.
She has to give her real name tonight, or if she's not get processed and she can sit in the cell till she can come up with who she really is, and we can prove that's who she is. At this point, that's why I wanted to have her ID.
The other two, what do we want to do with them? We asked them to leave.
And they wouldn't.
You asked them to leave?
Yeah.
Oh,
we asked them
yeah.
to leave.
They were
I have it
asked.
recorded. The
But
sheriff asked.
they would not
I
leave
have
because
it
they
recorded.
didn't feel like she was going to be safe.
Right.
And then they
would not
wouldn't
leave.
identify themselves as well.
Well, when
Okay.
Herb first
So-
brought them out of the meeting room, none of them were. They all said, no, we're all
And you
staying."
told them it was time to leave.
Yeah,
Meeting's over
our
with.
meeting's over.
You
It's
told
time
them it's time to leave. They refused to leave. Yeah, they'll get charged for trespassing. Okay.
You know, hook them up.
All right. Who are my other ladies?
That one there on the phone.
Okay.
This one here.
And this one here?
This one here, yeah.
So right now, because they asked you to leave and you refused to, you're
Quinn,
going
can
to
you
be
help?
arrested
Quinn,
also
can
for
you help?
trespass.
We asked everyone to
I
leave.
asked her to leave.
Okay.
I asked her to leave, and she would not leave. And then she wouldn't identify herself.
You didn't ask me who I was.
I absolutely did.
You didn't ask me. You asked Michelle.
I asked both of you.
I did not hear you. You didn't look at me. I did not hear you.
Okay. Do you have
All
identification?
we want to do is
Yes, I
conduct our
do.
meetings in an orderly manner. I don't have a problem with it. Linda Williams, unless you,
Let her go. That's fine.
whatever you want to do. I don't really care.
She's the only one that actually just started to actually cooperate. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
mind.
So
Yeah,
we'll
the
take the
Jane
other two
public is
back
the
then,
one.
and then you want to stay and take the statement, or?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, if you want to do it that way, that's fine. That's fine. We'll let Linda go.
Like I said, there's some past instances that should be documented with it, and I think he's going to request a refrain from order of protection, so the young
Probably a
lady
good
doesn't
idea.
come back.
Yep, for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, that sounds good. We'll do that then.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Sorry, are you guys taking the two and then we're staying back with the statement?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay,
Because I
perfect.
think it'd be good for them to get the experience. Sorry, Darlene's
Sure
calling, which
thing.
is weird. I'll take her from the back of my car.
Yeah.
Backhand discussion of this is
Okay, there's plenty of room in that one. There's plenty of room in that one.
Well, they're both asleep and I can't feel them. Can you not grab by the handcuffs and grab me by the arm, please? Thank you.
Michelle, do you want us?
After her arrest, Ms. Allen Gregory spent the night in county jail because Mr. Barney requested an order of protection against her. She was arraigned the next day, and the judge denied the request for an order of protection and released her. One of Ms. Allen Gregory's friends, Holly Bale, was issued a citation for trespassing, but she was not physically taken into custody. Ms. Allen Gregory was initially charged with criminal trespass and obstructing governmental administration, and in April of 2024, a new charge of disorderly conduct was filed. Now, while court documents indicate that Ms. Allen Gregory was originally charged with obstructing for her refusal to show identification to Deputy Gregory, the charge was later amended to say that Allen Gregory was, quote, intentionally acting out and verbally interrupting the New Haven town supervisor numerous times during a town meeting, which is considered a governmental function. In August of 2024, the charges against Ms. Allen Gregory and Ms. Bale were dismissed based on speedy trial violations. When asked about the dismissal by a local news outlet, Mr. Barney stated in a text message that, quote, I handled the situation exactly as I should have. The fact that the district attorney's office failed to bring the cases to trial in a timely manner has absolutely nothing to do with how the town of New Haven handled the situation at our meeting. Ms. Hoffman and Ms. Bale's attorney indicated that both women are pursuing civil legal action in response to their arrests and prosecutions. Overall, Deputy Gregory gets an F for maintaining a disrespectful and condescending demeanor throughout the encounter, demonstrating a profound lack of knowledge regarding when officers can demand identification from citizens, and threatening to arrest Ms. Allen Gregory for exercising her right to refuse ID. New York's Stop and Identify statute does not require citizens to provide physical identification to officers who stop them, and courts have consistently concluded that citizens cannot be convicted of obstructing governmental operations for refusing to identify themselves, even in situations where reasonable suspicion for a detention exists. Deputy Gregory's vague assertion that citizens must provide identifications when they are being quote-unquote investigated is deeply concerning, as it does not account for even the constitutional requirement that reasonable suspicion exists, let alone the limitations of the relevant New York statutes. And Deputy Gregory's conduct in this encounter, along with her articulated understanding of when she has the authority to compel ID, suggests that she routinely demands driver's licenses and other identification cards under threat of arrest from citizens who are not required to provide them. Ms. Allen Gregory gets a B+ because although she remained calm and respectful throughout the encounter and fiercely advocated for her rights, she demonstrated a fundamental misunderstanding of police officers' legal obligations during detentions and arrests. Ms. Allen Gregory repeatedly questioned Deputy Gregory regarding why she was being detained, after being informed multiple times that she was being investigated for obstruction, even going so far as to argue that Deputy Gregory needed to provide her with a copy of the obstructing statute. I believe that Ms. Allen Gregory was attempting to contend that her conduct during the meeting did not rise to the level of obstruction, and that she, therefore, was not required to identify herself. But this was not clearly communicated, and cases like this should be litigated in the courtroom, not by arguing with an officer at the scene. I am also personally of the belief that Mr. Barney's order that Ms. Allen Gregory leave the meeting was unlawful, and it certainly appeared to be motivated by his personal feelings towards her and their history, rather than just a desire to maintain order in the meeting. However, a court could see it differently, so I would caution Ms. Allen Gregory in the future that her interests may be better served by complying with orders to leave public meetings in the future and then pursuing legal action after the fact. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic that you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out my second channel for even more police interaction content.